Community members in Colorado Springs will meet later this morning to talk about a proposed data center that is already causing controversy. It is controversial for sure. The city gave the green light for what's being called Project Taurus, but people who live in the Springs are pushing back. 9 News legal expert Whitney Traylor here this morning to talk more about this. Good morning, Whitney.
Good morning, Drew.
All right, first question, pretty basic for those not familiar with this case. What exactly are the residents there pushing back against?
It's not necessarily whether the data center is good or bad. It's really whether the city followed its own procedure. So the city, I think there is a lot of disagreement and pushback, public opposition to the data center, but really I think the administrative and the procedural aspect is really the bigger concern. So when they went in to get this to see if they could get it zoned and approved, they didn't go to the city council. They went through an administrative process, so it was just people in the planning division that said yes. They weren't elected officials. And so now, since that was approved, Radon, the company who's retrofitting this building, has submitted other plans that were essentially after it was approved.
Okay.
So the residents are really concerned with the process and how they're going about it.
May not want it there, but they think they can catch them on the technicality, so to speak.
Right, yes, that's a good point.
All right, so last week there was a meeting. Can you explain what happened during that meeting?
So that was a meeting where they appealed to the Planning Commission. So there were 6 appeals. The Planning Commission accepted 5, saying, and these 5 appeals were saying, hey, we think there's an issue with this. A lot of people don't want the data center. So they had public comment, and overwhelmingly the residents said they don't want the data center there. Nonetheless, the commission still voted 6-2 to move forward, but there was a lot of public opposition.
Even if 100% of the residents in Colorado Springs did not want this data center, could they actually stop it? I mean, do they have the power to really stop this from happening?
It's a long shot for the residents. I think they have a better chance of slowing it down as opposed to actually stopping it, because the issue is what they're trying to do with the data center. It actually is compliant with those zoning restrictions in that area. So even if they didn't follow the procedure, after an appeal, maybe it gets sent back and then Radon has to go through that procedure. So it's probably going to just delay it. There's arguments that the residents are going to make, but they have an uphill battle for sure.
What happens next? Is this something that you and I could be sitting here a year from now talking about, maybe even 5 years from now? What's next, though?
Probably not 5 years, but yeah, it could take time. I mean, the wheels of justice move slowly. So the next piece is the residents have until August 3rd to appeal to the city council. The city council, I don't think, can do much with that. There's limitations on when they can override essentially a zoning approval. So then if city council, if the residents aren't happy from there, they can then have a 106 hearing, which is in front of a judge. But again, the judge isn't going to look at the merits of the case. The judge is just going to say, did the city follow its procedure? So that will take some time. That will take months. And the judge will ultimately decide if the procedure was followed. And if it wasn't, the recourse is to go back and do it again. So it's likely that the data center will go up. It's just a matter of when.
As they say in show business, to be continued.
You know it.
To be continued.